Welcome back, STIX Baseball Podcast. TJ here. I've got a special guest today, Dakota. He's a longtime friend of mine. Gonna toss it to him and let him intro himself a little bit, so I don't do him any injustices here. But Dakota, how are you?
Dude, I'm doing wonderful, man. I feel like I'm never escape this place. I just got done telling you, man, I'm in my classroom today to do this because my house is chaotic. I doing great on this Sunday. Gonna gear up and watch USA and the Dominican Republic here in a few hours. Should be
Yeah, that was
electric.
one reason I wanted to see if we could get this done a little bit before that,
Yes.
so we'll make sure we don't run that into the game time.
Yeah, no, it should
Um,
should be electric.
one thing that's been super fun with the WBC, dude. That Dominican team is just electric. They're so fun to watch, and it makes me wonder, like, did we didn't have any fun playing baseball, obviously,
No,
because
that's
these
that's
guys are having all the
100%
fun.
it. Yeah, like I look at it and I'm like, man, this whole time when I was growing up, it was like baseball was all business, and it's like I look at the joy that the DR's playing with, and I'm like, yo, I want a hype dugout. Like
Yeah,
I felt like we took it so dang serious, and it's like at the end of the day, man, like the game's supposed to be fun.
yeah, we really did, and we won a lot of games. I mean, we had fun. Don't get me
Right.
wrong.
Winning's fun.
We Winning's fun. We won a lot of freaking baseball games, but watching these guys, man, I'm just like, geez, I don't think I had fun watching these guys.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like, oh yeah, I thought I had fun, but I'm watching this and I'm like, I'm watching other grown men like dance around on the field, and I'm just like, man, these guys are just enjoying each other's company, and honestly, so far, like it it looks like it's been effective. They've had a lot of success so far in the WBC.
Well, some of it's a little bit unfair, just those guys look like the game comes to them so
Mm,
much easier. You
yes.
know what I'm saying? Like, we were worried about situations. What's a guy going to throw in the 2-2? What's,
Right.
this and that. And these guys are just up there hacking, swinging, diving. And it comes so natural to them.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, like, I would love to talk to him about approach, right? Like,
Yeah.
are you just like see ball, hit ball, or are you just like, you know what, I'm just up there and like, cause I feel like that's one thing that like I'm seeing this with my high school guys is, you use the word approach. Like I literally asked my guys yesterday, I said, hey, do you guys like hitting fastballs? And like all of them are nodding their head yes. And it's like, well, how many pipe fastballs are we gonna take? Like don't just tell me what I want to hear. Like so
Yeah.
like I look at these free swinging teams and I'm like, okay, like what is your approach? What is your plan?
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who don't know, Dakota is a head coach of a high school baseball team. We're repping him here on camera today. Um,
Didn't plan it at all.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Just hopped on and we're both wearing it. But that's one thing I wanted to pick your brain a little bit because me and you played a long time together, long time friends, long time teammates. But now you're on the other side of it, and tell me, I mean, what are these kids thinking when you're talking about approach?
Dude, it's so different on this side. Like I look back on my playing career and like being a player is so much more simple than it is trying to manage these teenagers, and even even as involved with youth baseball as I am, like being a player is 1,000 times easier than being a coach.
Really?
There's so much more uh extra things that go into the development of these young men, and it's like, you're dealing with all sorts of different things that go beyond the game of baseball. Like, and where we're from, like we baseball's been pretty stagnant for a while, and we're trying to pump some life back into it, but it's, by the time you get to high school, it's really hard because a lot of guys are really well established with the type of baseball that they know and that they are capable of performing. For
Um,
sure tell you though that like the group of guys that I have this year, like, and I'm this is no shot to them at all because like a lot of it's circumstance, and we're really green to the game of baseball. Like, I had a sophomore that I threw in a varsity game yesterday that it's his 2nd year playing baseball, phenomenal athlete, super, super good competitor, and, like, honestly, like, I watched him throw a football as a freshman, and I was like, "Oh, he needs to play baseball," because like, just you can tell, like, when you watch people throw. Anyway, I put him in a game against, a team that is a top 3 in our classification right now, and he comes off the field after, I mean, and he did some really good things, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, was that your like, when was the last time you pitched in a game?" And he goes, "Coach, that was my first time pitching in a game ever."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, and he got a couple of kids that I had on my all-state ballot last year, like, got him to get some weak contact, like, dropped some dimes with his breaking pitch, but, like, again, like, when you start talking about, like, how to attack a hitter and, like, how to sequence pitches, and it's you know, I feel like a lot of kids, especially in our area, like, that's stuff that they've never been taught, and again, it's like, I've had this shift as a coach where my first couple years here, like, I was so frustrated, and, you kinda start to realize that sometimes, like, kids are just limited by what they had available to them growing up,
Yeah.
and, you and I were fortunate, we had lots of opportunities to play baseball and kinda cross paths with people that I still, have considered, like, very influential in my life with the game. I mean, I was talking in my parent meeting about parents staying out of my dugout. Now, I didn't use the word as colorfully. I don't know if you remember,
Yeah.
Mike Howard telling parents
Oh
when
yeah.
13 to stay out of his, expletive dugout, but,
Yep.
like, here I am, like, almost 20 years later, and it's like, just these people that have had influences on the way I look at the game, and our kids here, like, they're great kids, they work super hard, like, and we're taking the approach that we're like ground zero every year. We're teaching these kids the game, and we're a couple steps behind at the start of the year, and we're usually really competitive by the end of the year.
Yeah. And that's something that's really hard to deal with. And I coached for a little bit. I don't know if I could be the head coach of anything nowadays. So I don't envy your job at all.
Oh, bro, I used
Um,
to have like super thick hair up top, and it's thinning out. Like it was like the moment I took a head coaching gig, like it was like instant male pattern baldness. Like
oh man,
And it's like I said, it's just like there's so much that goes into it, like, I loved
there
being an
really is.
assistant, like, absolutely loved being an assistant, and, like, being a head coach, like, you have to deal with so much more than just
Yeah.
coaching.
I think if if I were to go back into coaching, it would be assistant coaching. I don't envy the head coaching job, like you said, just the things that go into it that are outside of baseball, right? Dealing with money, logistics, parents, scheduling, just on top of everything else. If you could say, TJ, here's your job. I just want you to teach this group of kids this portion of baseball, then I'm all on board with that. But when I saw what else comes involved with coaching, it can be a really tough job, and it makes you really grateful for, like you said, some of those coaches we had growing up. When you're a kid, you don't see all that stuff. You just see
No.
the guy in the dugout or at practice or
Right.
whatever, right?
Right.
So
You see them at practice, you don't see them on their phone for hours upon end when we get those March and April Utah snowstorms, and you're trying to
yeah,
figure out, like, are we gonna play? Are we gonna have to move locations? Like, are we gonna be outside today for practice? Are we gonna have to be in the gym? Is it prom week? Are we gonna have to share the gym with 4 other teams? Like, this is all the stuff that, like, I still remember my first year as a head coach. I was like, "Holy crap, like, what did I get
what did I get
myself
into?
into?" Like, this and then I got my pay stub, and I was like, "Holy crap, what did I get myself into?" Like, I put in, like, hundreds of hours, and it's like I could have made more working part-time at the Subway at the north end of town, you know?
Exactly, exactly. But you know, there's some there's a little bit of rewarding that comes through it when you start to see kids succeed,
Mhm.
right? And like
Oh, absolutely.
something that you've been drilling into somebody for a long time, it finally clicks and they get it and it helps them and they're happy, and that's what keeps you coming back. Like I'm all for like, you know what I do. I'm involved with the youth on many different
Mhm.
levels, so I enjoy seeing those kids succeed. But yeah, man, I don't envy your job at all. But bless you for doing it.
I spend all day with them, like, you know, I'm a school teacher, so, like, in essence, I really hit the jackpot with, like, I get to spend all my time around teenagers that are not fully emotionally developed, and like I said, there's just so many different things, like, last night we get home from our game, and I'm scrolling through Facebook, and someone's like, "Yeah, you know, there was some kids, wearing Millard baseball sweatshirts that, like, ding dong ditched my house, and I caught
Uh,
him and was talking to him, and, like, I guess they got their idea from the bench warmers, but they really need to work on their speed." So, like, I was grilling them. I said, like, "Guys, if you're gonna do that, the whole purpose is to not get caught," and, you know, just the little things like that, though, it's fun, like, being around these guys keeps your mind young, you know, but I'm realizing I'm starting to, like, that generational gap, like, I mean, when you and I coached together for, you know, for a little bit here, we were the young guys, and
yeah.
I'm starting to realize, like, I'm still not old, but just some of the norms and trends, I'm like, "Holy crap," like, you know, I had one of my kids in class the other day, like, I said something, he called me "Unc," and apparently that means, like, "Yeah, you're old," right?
Man.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. I feel that for sure. I was calling roll for a weights class the other day, and I'm just reading the list down the thing, and I get halfway through the list before I realize the same kid saying here for everybody, and only half of the athletes are there. And so, in high school that would have been hilarious, but now I realize, okay, it pissed me off, so now I know I'm getting old because now I
Oh,
got to
yeah,
restart
dude,
this thing.
the same stuff that I used to do as a high school student is, like, the very things that just drive me crazy as a teacher,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's, like, that full circle moment of, like, "Wow, like, maybe I wasn't as, like, good of as a kid as I thought I was." Like, I probably really ticked off a lot of my teachers and my coaches.
Yeah, we look back at some of those grumpy teachers and go, you know what? Maybe they weren't so bad. Maybe we
Yeah,
were
maybe
just
it was
awful
me.
kids. Oh man, that's funny. Let's see. Um, Current state of baseball. Let's talk about a few things. Give me something that's going on in baseball right now that you really enjoy.
You
What's
know,
something that's going right?
like, I gotta say, like, I going back to what we were talking about with the DR, like, I think that there is such a big movement to make baseball fun
Yeah.
and, exciting that I think that you'll see if things go like, with some of these big polarizing players, I mean, like, Jazz Chisholm, for example, like,
Electric.
just super fun to watch, but you know why, like, my son loves watching Jazz Chisholm? Because of his drip. Like, and he like, some of the stuff that that dude wears is like I'm like, "Dude, you woulda got hit in the ribs if you woulda wore that when I was playing," right?
Yeah.
But as far as, like, what I think is going well, like, I just think that there's a big push to make baseball attractive to young people, you know? Like, you got stuff like the what do they call it? The Little League Classic where they bring all the teams from Williamsport to go watch 2 teams, and, like, I truly think that, there's a big movement to make the game attractive to younger and even more casual fans. You know, like, not everybody's a big traditional baseball junkie like us. So,
Yeah.
like, I honestly think that, if it's channeled the correct way, I think that the fun movement is huge with the game of baseball.
I'm on board with that. Like we said, the DR is so fun to watch. Um, but I also find myself like, I don't know if it's dating myself again, but when a guy hits a home run and he kind of just drops his bat and jogs normal,
Mhm.
I'm like, it's a little bit refreshing
Right,
to the
right.
point because I'm like, all right, act like you've been there before, right? Like you know what you're
Exactly.
doing. So
Exactly.
I'm trying to walk the line of like, is
Yeah.
this, of course we want to have fun, like let guys show emotion, express themselves. I don't
But
care.
it's
But
a
like
fine line between,
where
like, they're having fun and they're excessive, right? And it
like
like,
where
for
does it
me, like, I
sway?
grew up loving watching Derek Jeter, and, like, you'll never see a dude that was more just, like, business and just went about things like business as usual. But, like, I find myself watching some of this, I'm like, "Hey, that's pretty cool," but then I'm with you on that, like, I'm like, "Okay, is this really what like, is this too much? Like, what are we really looking at here?" Like
Yeah,
I love the double cellies, I love that, but, like, I personally don't think it should take a dude 2 minutes to touch them
get
all
around the
on a
bases.
tank, you know?
Yeah, like, the other night, and this is just, I'm not, criticizing any player, this is just off the top of my head, but Vladdy hit a home run that he did not leave the box until the ball landed in the stands. And I think part of that was because he was waiting to see if it was fair or foul or whatever, right? But that happens, and I'm just like, okay, like where's the line here? Like,
Right.
should we start jogging a little bit? So
Like,
I'm
a courtesy trot down the line while you watch it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but
I
like
like, I'm
that's the
still
thing
I'm
with
still so torn with Vladdy because, like, dude, what Toronto did to the Yankees in the playoffs, like, it's still, like that was such a painful series for me to watch, and normally, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all about Vladdy," but just, like, what they did to the Yankees, I mean, they just thoroughly smoked them, and I was like, "Ah, you know what? I'm not quite ready to cheer for Vladdy because of that."
that's okay. That's okay. I mean, that's the thing with baseball, right? Is there's so many, I don't want to say unwritten rules, right? That term gets tossed around a lot, but
Mhm.
just like you be around the game enough, you understand like what's expected and what's courteous and what's maybe a little bit showing in your face and stuff. So trying to walk that line and find that, but still being able to be expressive and
Right.
emotional is
Right.
it's tough, dude. It's
And
tough.
it's a really fine line because everything's fine and lighthearted until it isn't, and then you got the benches clearing and you get coaches being ejected, you know, like
And it just takes, right, one pitcher who
Mhm.
takes, smirk the wrong way,
Right.
and then he starts ramping things up, and it escalates really, really fast. That's the one thing baseball is really good at, is taking something petty
Mhm.
and making it a really big deal, right?
Right, like, I mean, so here's a great example of this, right? Chirping has always been part of baseball, right? Like, just,
Yeah.
the banter, and my high school guys yesterday, like, we were in a tight game with a team that for lack of better words, was just flat more talented than us. I mean, they have a kid that's committed to Utah Tech, like he's a Division 1 commit out of a 2A high school, and then they got another kid that's getting looks behind the dish that's a stud. And we're in like a 2-1 game, I believe, in like the fourth inning, and our dugouts are electric. I mean, there's just, little chirping going back and forth, and then before we know it, like, our field ump, which I found out this after the fact, because 'cause I'm a psychopath and I like to find out everything about everybody I come into contact with. Like, this dude, never even played baseball growing up, like, and he's a high school official, and he, like, restricts this team's coach to their dugout, and I'm, like, looking around, like, I didn't hear anything that I thought was excessive, and 2 innings later, this assistant coach gets tossed, which leads to their head coach getting tossed, and, like, I think they had a couple of players restricted to their dugout, and I'm sitting there talking to who I assume, like, ends up taking over their program for the next week while head coach is suspended, and I was like, "Dude, like, I was on the third base side, and I like, dude, your kids were like their chirping was electric. I didn't hear anything that I felt like was inappropriate." And he goes, "Well, yeah, like same thing with your dugout, man." Like again,
Interesting.
it's like things are super lighthearted and fun until they're not, and then it completely flipped the entire feeling of this game. And I don't know, like I mean, we grew up in a time like I remember like part of the thing I loved about baseball was, there was lots of little back and forth banter between dugouts, but I don't think I ever in my life felt, "Oh, man, I'm gonna just clear the benches and go fight these guys," because they said our pitcher, like, his pickoff move was so slow or like a book, right?
Right.
And so, like, I think that there are some instances where things get escalated when they don't have to be.
Yeah, and like baseball's good at doing that, and
Mhm.
we've been in our fair share of little scuffles over the years as well. And you look
Are you
back to
referring to
what,
Park City in 2008?
yes, I am actually. So, and you look
This is
back
like
to
my
what
favorite
started,
story.
you look back to what started that and you're like, it was nothing. It was a
No.
few parents who, yeah, got a little excited and it ends up with the cops coming. So,
Yeah, I mean, and it leads to a kid on our team being like, "Oh man, my dad can't go to jail again." I'm like that for me, like all these years later, that's like my favorite quote. Like every time I see your dad or your mom, like we always like it always gets brought up, right? It's just like one of those things, and then like that whole story, it's like okay, and then you have big Ed Hill who's like, I didn't know what to do, so I just started clapping my hands and said,
clapping.
"Stop it right now!" It's like
And then,
it's just
yep.
like, it's crazy because most of the time is if we're talking about youth sports, high school sports, youth sports, it's not the kids. A lot of the times
No,
it's overzealous
no.
parents. Like
Yeah.
that's
That's
something that
usually what
I've
it is.
noticed. Like, man, us as parents, we can't take it so dang serious. Like youth sports, right? Like,
Yeah. Uh, it made less sense back then, even more than it does so now because we have kids now. So we
mhm,
understand, like, right, you want your kid, you want to afford them the best possibility, opportunities possible. You want them to succeed. You want them to win every game they walk into, that kind of thing. But like to look back and think, I can't believe what some of those parents
right,
did and where it ended, those things
right.
escalate and whatever. And it's just like, I
Over
can't,
over one random tournament in July,
yeah,
like, if there's anything I've learned, like and this is, like I don't know if I should get commission for putting this plug in, but, like, for as a youth parent, like, the best book I've ever read in my life is the Matheny Manifesto.
the
Like
Thenie Manifesto.
yes,
I'll
dude,
write
I
that
mean,
down.
it's and, because I'm a competitive person, and dude, there was times early on in my freaking nine-year-old's athletic journey that like, I look back and I was like, "Man, I was acting like a tool." And I stumbled upon this book. It was written by Mike Matheny, and he's talking about basically his whole philosophy as a coach because in between his playing career and his managerial career, he coached youth baseball.
Oh,
And I mean, it completely changed the way I look at parenting my son as an athlete. And it's been so good for me. Like, you know, at the end of the day, like we're all there for the same reason, at least I would assume so. Like we're there to watch our kids do something that they love. And whether they go 5 for 5 and hit 3 nukes or they go 0 for 5 with 4 Ks, like they're doing
yeah.
something that they love and like we're just there along the ride with them, you know?
Yeah. Um, I'll look into this book here, but off
Oh,
the
dude,
top of
I'm
your
I'm
head,
telling you, like I hate reading, but this is a really good read.
okay, cool. Yeah, I'll look into it. Off the top of your head, and if I'm putting you on the spot, so if you don't have anything, that's fine. Like what's a theme or a point that he makes in there that you could just give us a brief
Really,
summary?
like, a lot of it is just as parents, right? He said, like, I can't think off the top of my head, but there was one early on that really, like, it kinda struck a nerve with me because I was like, "Holy crap, like, I'm a terrible parent." Like, he's talking about, like, when your kid makes a mistake, like, everybody there, himself included, knows that he made a mistake, and, uh, like, don't beat a dead horse, and if your son has a bad game, he knows he had a bad game. Like, you don't need to make the whole car ride home miserable. And, like,
Yeah,
sorry, dad, if you're watching this. But like, I mean, my old man was like notorious for that. And it doesn't mean like he cared so much. But like, dude, I still remember like I think it would have been your junior year. We were playing in Enterprise.
he walk us down that line. You remember
Yeah,
that?
bro, like, we lost 2-0, and I remember, like, I had just signed my letter of intent to go play baseball in college, and, like, I threw a CG and gave up 2 runs in the 1st inning and put up zeros the rest, and we lost, and he was like, "That was the most pitiful performance," like, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know if that's exactly what he
Yeah.
said, but my 17-year-old brain, like, interpreted
Right.
that way, and, like, and I look back now as a parent, I'm like, "It's not because he was trying to be a jerk," like, that's just how my dad was and is, like, he wanted to see me perform well so badly that even, like, I mean, I flat told him, I remember I told him the next day at practice, I said, "Dad, if you would have told me that we would have came down here and I would have given up 2 runs and thrown a complete game, like, I would have bet my future kids' careers and my house that we would have won."
Yeah.
And, like, so now, like, I'm that parent, like, I go sit out in the outfield in the games that I'm not coaching, which is, like, the greatest thing ever. And, like, a month and a half, or not a month and a half ago, this is probably, like, 2 months ago, like, Bronx was picking up with a team in St. George, and, like, Bronx is a good little pitcher, and they throw him in the championship game, and one of his buddies is guest playing on the other team, like, they're both guest playing on these 2 teams, but
Okay.
they're playing against each other, right? And this kid hits a ball, like, I have not seen a 9-year-old uncork on a ball as well as this kid did, and I remember thinking, like, "Well, let's see how he responds," 'cause he turned around and, like, he looked at me, and we both just kinda smiled and shrugged our shoulders.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and I think so many parents in youth sports now, like, when that happens in that stage, like, they're basket cases, and, like, fortunately, like, and I'm not saying that this is the right way, this is what works for me and my kid, but, like, he just looked back at me, and I kinda winked at him and shrugged my shoulders, and then he got the next 2 kids out, like, I said, "Dude, that's part of the game, like, you play enough baseball that there's gonna be kids that get the best of you, and it's how you respond to them kinda punching you in the face." And it was awesome because after the game, him and his buddy, like, I actually went and got the home run ball and gave it to his friend, and I said, "We gotta get a picture with you guys, like, here's you with your home run ball, and here's the kid you hit it off of," and
Nice.
it's but, like, I really do, like, I've been around some parents on the youth circuit that I truly think that would have sent them into a frenzy, and that car ride home with their son would have been miserable.
Yeah.
And, like, it's very different from the way that I was brought up, but it makes sense, right? And,
Yeah.
there's so many more good little tidbits in this book, like, if you guys get a chance to read it, it really is, it's an awesome read, especially, right, your little man in the before you know it, he's gonna be playing sports, and,
Yep.
like, it really was, it was, like, a very profound, read for me.
I'll get it on my order list here, but, and that's what baseball, I mean, obviously, we're in it to win and to have
Mhm.
fun and whatever, but, uh, you know, it's to help overcome failure, right? Like,
Right.
the kid has to learn that at some point, right?
Mhm.
And if mom and dad are making that harder, that can be pretty tough, and, um, I wanna get it on the record, though, Coach Bullock, if you're watching, Jason, he's an incredible coach.
Yes.
Uh, he had a huge impact on, I'm sure, you obviously your life, being your dad as well, but on mine as well. How many practices he drove me 2, 3 hours
Mhm.
to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Games,
I look
countless games.
back and,
Um,
how awesome were our parents
oh, man.
for driving us all around, like, and that's, like, it's kinda full circle for me, right? Because right now, we have our club team that's local here, but then we have 3 Millard boys that commute up, an hour and a half a couple times a week, and it's like I was like, "Holy crap," like, I feel like I'm reliving my childhood,
Yeah.
and, I have nothing but love for my old man because anytime that there was something that he thought was gonna make me better, he was the first one to jump on board with it, whether it was
Yep.
driving up to go pitch with Bobby Applegate at BYU or driving I mean, so many different opportunities that he just seemed to find and all these relationships that he built, like, I mean, I remember he would drive, like, they'd drive us up to Mountain West Baseball Academy, and he's like, "All right, I gotta go do some work," and we'd get done with
Yep.
practice, and we'd go and sit on and hit on that iron mic machine for what seemed like hours until my dad got done with his work to pick us up,
Yeah.
it
And
really
that
is, I always poke fun because he's a very intense guy, and I'm really grateful, I'm grateful that he pushed me the way that he did. I didn't see it that way as a kid, but I can look back now as a dad and I'm like, all my dad wanted for me was the best for me.
yeah.
And again, as a kid, you don't always read through the lines that easily. Like I and the thing I loved about playing for my dad was he expected us. He didn't expect perfection, but he expected excellence, right?
Yeah.
And he was always the first one to uh to let us know, like, hey, no, that's not our standard, that's not what we do. And I really think that that's part of the reason why, the group of guys that we grew up with was as successful as we were, because it certainly wasn't because we were the greatest athletes on the planet.
No, not by any stretch.
I've coached teams that were 10 times the athletes than the group of guys that we were, but nowhere near the uh the level of baseball players.
Yeah, and work ethic, right?
Right,
Like
right.
if I attribute anything to your dad, it's that it's worth work ethic, man. Like you said he had high expectations for us, but he also um like you mentioned, he did everything in his power to make sure that you and like I tagged along a lot,
Yeah.
that both of us had all the opportunity in the world to succeed, right? And then on top of that, he expected a lot out of us. So yeah, coach, if you're watching, we appreciate it because it definitely played a role.
Oh, for sure, man. I still, I was telling some of my guys this at the start of the season because we were talking about off-season work, and, I said, because they're like, "Coach, how did you make that work?" Because our off-season attendance wasn't great this year, but, my whole roster's 3 sport guys, and I said, "It's just, something we made time for," but I think back, how many Saturdays did we go in and go hit up in the cage in the gym, and then we'd go out and eat at the Chinese buffet at the south end of town,
Yeah. Yep.
but I don't know, I that's one thing I'm super grateful for is I don't think I ever heard my dad tell me once if I was like, "Hey, dad, will you go throw me BP?" Or I don't think he ever told me no or that he didn't have time.
Yeah.
And that's something that really is stuck with me as a dad because, in it as adults, man, you're like, "Man, I'm just so busy. I'm just so busy." And then you think back well, yeah, how busy were my parents, and they
Oh
still
man,
made time to do all this stuff for me as a baseball player.
I remember, you know, we had just played a tournament in Salt Lake, and we had a flight the next day to go to some showcase in California and LA. And my dad, in between, because I had missed like 4 straight days of school
Mhm.
too. And in between, my dad was like, he asked me this a few times throughout the year. Hey man, you're not getting burned out, are you? He was pushing me and
Mhm.
and trying to make sure all my opportunities were there, but he was conscious too that it wasn't like, hey, I'm not forcing you to do this stuff. And like you said, me and you, we were baseball nuts growing up. So
Yeah.
it's like we lived for it. We loved it. Um, I remember, you know, in Coach B's class, if I finished my assignment early, I'd be like, "Hey, coach, I'm gonna go hit," and he'd just let me go.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Yeah,
In the
yeah,
middle
go
in the
right
middle of
ahead," and it's like
class.
I was like, "This is great." I'm like, "I might have got, a C minus on this assignment, but, I got, 200 quality cuts in,"
Exactly. So
and
I mean, I remember my dad was very conscious about that. Like, hey, this is great. I'll do everything I can to get you where you want to be and whatever. Just want to make sure you're not burning out on me or anything. And
which I
it was
think is
always a no, but
huge,
yeah.
'cause like you said, man, I'm seeing it through a completely different lens now with all the stuff that I take Bronx to, and, like, I've always been really upfront with him. I'm like, "Dude, I'll let you play as much or as little as you want to play," which is kinda biting me in the butt because, like, that kid, like, he plays with more teams than I can count, and I'm just like, "Dude, are you ready for a weekend off?" "No." "Are you like, and I'm trying to, like, bait him into it, like, "Are you sure?" Like,
You're
"No,
not a
I'm
little
good."
sore, not
Like
a yeah.
no, like, literally, he woke up this morning, so, like, he played 7 games this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Oh, man.
in St. George, like, and it was hot, it was, like, 90 degrees, and this morning, I was like, "I'll bet you're tired, huh?" He goes, "No, not really." And I said, "Well, are you glad that you're not playing today?" He goes, "Dude, dad, I wish I had 4 more games today." I was like, "Even with all the
That's
games you played?" He goes, "Yep." And then he, like, goes and grabs his glove to go throw in the bounce back net, and I was like, "No, you're not throwing today." Like, it's so crazy that, like, I never thought in a million years I'd have to, like, look at my kid and be like, "No, do not go outside and go
have
work
to
on
rein him in.
baseball." Like,
Oh,
it's the
man.
weirdest thing, like, and it's like, it really is, like, I always tell people 'cause, like, I mean, you and I, man, like, I felt like our whole lives growing up, it was baseball,
That's
and
pretty much it, yeah.
I look at my son, and I'm like, "Man, maybe I didn't really love baseball," because, like, from the moment that kid opens his eyes, like, if he's not playing baseball, he's watching baseball, or he's looking through his baseball cards, or, like, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, like, and I remember
Really.
telling him once, like, "Hey, bud, like, do you wanna go shoot a gun? Like, do you wanna go to the shooting range?" He goes, I think I'd rather just, like, go hit off the tee." Like, what what is wrong with you?
That's great, though, man.
Yeah,
That's
no, like,
awesome.
and I'm super grateful because, like, I know what the perception looks like, because it is really easy, like, you run into some people that, like, they are 100%, like, living through their kids, and, like, I told him, like, "Bronx, man, like, can we have something else in our life besides baseball?" And he's like, "Well, what's wrong with that?"
You're like, "Well, I guess nothing," but, like,
I was like, I wouldn't
oh,
mind, like, golfing every now and then. I haven't golfed in, like, a year.
yeah, that is nuts, man. I was just telling someone the other day, they were talking about, what I want my kid to do when he gets a little
Mhm,
bit older, and I said, "Yeah, sure, I hope he plays baseball, like, I really do,"
mhm,
but I I told him, and I never thought I'd say this because as a young kid,
mm,
naive and was also joking that I'll make sure,
right,
I'll force my kid to play.
mhm.
Like we're not gonna give up the game kind of thing. But as you get a kid and whatever, I find myself thinking, I don't care. I don't really care what he does as long as he has something, right? Like,
If he has something that, like, that he's passionate about and that, like,
yeah,
drives
exactly.
them to succeed, like, and I
Yeah,
and I had the same conversation when, like, when Shelby and I first started having kids, because everyone's like, "Oh, like, is he gonna do all the stuff you did?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that would be awesome because, like, it's familiar," but I said,
yeah,
I'll 100% stand on this, like, if my son came to me tomorrow and said, "Dad, I wanna be the world's best tuba player," I'd be like, "All right, let's go find the best tuba teacher." Like, I don't know anything about music, but I'm like, "Dude, I will do everything in my power to help you get there." And again, like, it's really crazy because growing up, you're like, "I want my kids to do all the same stuff," but, like, I really believe that, and my younger boy, like, he's much more of a free spirit than Bronx, and who knows, like, I don't know what his passions are gonna be, but, like, that kid is so dang stubborn that whatever he wants to do, I know that, he's gonna pursue it relentlessly.
yeah. I agree. I mean, I hope it's, baseball. I hope he
Right, like
wants to golf or whatever, right? But if as long as, like you said, as long as they got something that drives them,
mhm,
that makes them want to succeed, be better, like work to something. Um, yeah, and I don't know if it really matters what it is. If it was tuba, it might be might be tough for me to get on board, but I'll find a way,
like
I
I said,
guess.
man, and when I use that comparison, like, I get lots of raised eyebrows, and I was like, "Well, that's an extreme example, but you get what I
It's
mean."
very extreme.
Like I said, I'm like, I guess what I'm trying to get at, and this again, this is something that that book that I was mentioning, like, is really big on, like, if your kid has something that interests them and, like, it is something that's gonna be a positive influence in their life, like, let them run with it. Like, I see a couple like, I have a handful of people that, like, we're in Millard County, and for those of you that don't know, this is, like our county is, like, the mecca of wrestling. Like, just so much tradition in wrestling, and there's, like, people here that I go up and I watch their boys at wrestling practice, and I'm like, they hate every second of it, like, absolutely hate every second of it, but, like, their parents are so adamant that, like, "Well,
This is what you do in
we're a
Fillmore, right?
wrestling family, we only wrestle." Like,
This
"No,
is what
how"
you
like
do here. Yeah.
exactly, that's just what we do, and, then they get to high school and they end up quitting anyway, and it's just, like, it's wild to me, like, we all lived our adolescence, like, I think it's our jobs as parents to help cultivate and encourage our kids to go be successful in whatever, whatever they choose.
Yeah, man. I like that a lot, yeah. And it's tough, you know, luckily this podcast is very unpopular. 'Cause, it's tough for, someone from Fillmore to, like, voice that, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, when you go against 100 years of tradition and, we're the football wrestling school, right? That's
right,
what you do here.
right.
Like, academics were traditionally, right? Academics were second, you
Hey, dude,
wrestle, you play
I gotta
football.
show you something right here if we're gonna talk academics.
Let's do it.
I never thought in a million years in my professional life that I would have an academic trophy before I got a athletic trophy as a coach. Like, my
Look at that.
sophomores last year had the best science scores in 2A, and I'm like, "Man, this is, like, really strange to me."
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, you're
And th
making a difference is what it really comes
Right,
down to,
and
right?
it's
Because
like but the thing that's so funny about it is, like, I've never had anybody stop me in the store and be like, "Hey, congrats on that science trophy." It's always like, "Hey, how's the baseball team looking this year?" You know?
Yep, exactly, yep.
And
And, like
I truly think that, oftentimes people, when they look at, like, high schools, for example, it's like, you gotta pick or choose. It's either your academics or your athletics, and I disbelieve in that. I think that you can have
wow.
both if you make it a priority and you have strong culture.
And if you're a serious athlete, you're a fool if you don't take your grades
Oh,
serious because
$100%, dude.
do you know how much easier it is to get on a roster if you can make grades at the college level?
Oh, dude,
Like,
like, unreal. Like,
so oh, man.
that's the whole reason I got good grades in high school. However, like, I was a good student, and I remember in between my junior and senior year, like, I'd been getting, like, emailing back and forth with Stanford, so I'm like, "Yeah, man." And I went out there on a visit, and it was, like, within 10 minutes, I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go to school here." And my dad calls me, and he's like, "So, like, what do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, dad, I'm gonna enjoy this weekend, but, like, I'm not playing at Stanford." And he's like, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Dad, they're" I'm like he's like, "Your grades are good." I said, "Yeah, they're good, but they're not Stanford good." Like,
Yeah.
their coach looked me nice, he goes like, "Yeah, our average ACT score is a 33 on our roster." And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to Stanford."
Right.
But, like, again, like, getting good grades, like, that's an extreme example.
Yeah, that's extreme, right?
It opens up so many doors for young athletes. I mean, that's every time I've had a coach contact me about a kid that prospectively could play, like, one of the first questions they ask is, like, "What
How
kind
they're
of
great.
student" Yeah,
Yep.
like, "What kind of student are they?" And I sent a kid out last year to play at a small JUCO that and I'm convinced, like, he's a very coachable kid and has a little bit of ability, but if he wasn't a 3.9 student, he probably wouldn't be playing college baseball right now.
Yeah, it really does open a lot of doors, and that's not just, mom and dad type talking or
Mhm,
teacher talking, like, it matters. I mean, that's one of the top questions recruiters and
mhm,
coaches and whatever will ask you is 'cause it tells you a lot about what kinda kid they are too, like, he
right,
might be a heck of a ball player, but if he's a slouch in the classroom,
right.
then, you know and a lot of kids, it's not that they're not smart, it's that they don't try,
Yeah,
and
for
coaches don't want that.
unfortunately for me, like, guys, if you're watching this and, like, you're getting ready to go to college, like, make sure you still get good grades in college because when when my playing career was over, like, I the first time I had to go and, like, pay for books and like, do all this stuff that like, it was, like, a real eye opener for me because
Yeah.
I had gotten all these really good grades, and then I got to college and I was like, "I'm here to play baseball." And, like, my grades weren't poor, but by the time I was done, like, I was like a 3.0 student, which, like, isn't bad, but when I transferred and I was done playing baseball, and what's the acronym that they say for, like, was it called, like, a NARP, non-athlete regular person? Like,
Yeah.
when I became a non-athlete regular person, like, I was like, "What do you mean I have to pay for books?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, you see, normally academic monies pay for this, but you don't qualify for any academic money." And I was like, "Oh, crap." And so, like, if you're going to go play college baseball, because and again, like, it's wild in the era of this transfer portal, like, you're on a year-to-year
Yeah.
basis, like, you don't know like, you might have a roster spot this year, and you might have a Scully this year,
Not guaranteed,
it's
man.
not guaranteed next year, right? So, like,
Yep.
if you're not taking care of business in the classroom, like, it can make getting your education that much more difficult.
It's great advice coming from a teacher there too. Um, that is, it's very true though. It's very true. Okay, let's see. Um, I got plenty of other stuff we could talk about. You got anything on your brain you want to get going
Oh, dude,
before we do?
I've got so much stuff on my brain, but I don't know if people wanna hear it, like, I could sit and yap for days. I,
Let's
uh
see.
I did wanna ask you, I think I was messaging you this the other day, like, how wild is it? Like, I was talking to one of my assistant coaches yesterday because I had mentioned to him that my little club team had beat Mountain West in a big tournament,
Yeah.
and I said, "Dude, like, here's the thing about Mountain West, like, just on the team that you and I played on, like, off the top of my head, there's probably 4 or 5 guys that not only went on to play collegiately, but are, like, coaching, right? Like, you have dudes that are head coaches at colleges, you have dudes that are coaches in major league organizations, like, how insane was that group of kids that just happened to all be on the same team? Like,
You know,
what a
I
diverse group of guys.
that really it's crossed my mind a few times where it's like, yeah, you kind of look at it right now and we might be in what you consider a regular job, right?
Mhm.
And you feel like a regular person, but it's like, man, we grew up with these kids, and I know 4 or 5 guys right now that are in the league, in the show playing.
Right.
And then, like you said, we've got guys spread out all over between collegiate and professional coaching when I still have all their phone numbers.
I know, like,
And
it's insane.
so not that like we're not trying to name drop or whatever, anything like that, but it is pretty interesting. That was a very diverse group of
Like,
youngsters that, that group, what was it, 3, 4 years we all kind of played together and
yeah, like,
then went our
honestly,
separate
like,
ways. But
it was such a wild, like, because you had a little bit of everything, you know? Like, you had dudes getting thrown out from left field on a single in Yuma, Arizona.
and now and now that kid is a collegiate coach.
Yeah, and, like, has been really successful, like, he's at a good program, and,
He's done well for himself, man.
that I just think back and I'm like, that was probably the most memorable year of baseball that I ever had. And it's just because, like, there's so many weird stories that, like, I could go on for days.
Yeah, we really, this could be a 5-hour show right here if we
Oh,
just
no
wanted to
kidding.
reminisce and talk about stories. That is, yeah, that's a good point though. I mean, there's I probably really need to reach out to some of those guys we haven't talked in a few years and just like rekindle the connection.
Right,
But
like,
we were all great buddies at one point.
I know, like, I remember, like, every time we'd go to something, like, we'd all just kinda shoot the breeze and hang out, like, and, like, it was awesome. Like, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it really was. It was good times for sure. I mean, I I think we were pretty lucky as far as our adolescence. Like, I don't know if a lot of people experienced, what we did. So,
Well, and the thing that's really cool is, like, we got it twofold, right? Like, we
yeah.
played on 2 teams simultaneously that were extremely tight knit, and, like, it's honestly it's insane to me that we were that fortunate to be around groups of people, like, 2 separate groups of people that were as cool as they were.
that was one of my other questions I had for you too, just kinda touching on the topic was, how many of your old teammates do you stay in contact with? Because between the teams that we share,
Mhm.
obviously there's a few, but as far as when we split and went to different schools and stuff too, like, baseball has created such a brotherhood, right? I
Right.
still talk to so many, like, some of my best friends are guys I didn't meet till I was
Right.
23.
And isn't it insane that, like, there's some of these people that, like, I haven't seen in, like, 10 years that we'll just message and, like, can talk for, like, 2 hours. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's pretty cool, and honestly, like, one of the wild things is one of the kids on our Mountain West team, I actually got to be college teammates with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, like, and
Yeah.
I remember showing up to campus, and I was like, "Wow, I did not have that on my bingo card." Like, I had so many high school and club and college teammates that, came out and supported and still reach out and always ask me like, "Hey, man, like, how's the family doing?" Like, if there's anything, like, I look at the game of baseball for me has given me so many friendships and, like, really broadened my network of people that I consider my people, like, and I feel really fortunate with that because it's like it's not always that case, you know? Like, you don't
No.
always feel that fond about former teammates or former coaches or, like, so I just look back and it's like, dang, like, we we were really lucky with the people that we were able to be surrounded by.
We were really fortunate, and even those that maybe, we weren't as fond of, right, we have great stories
Oh,
and
for
experiences.
sure, dude.
So, I stay in contact with a lot of people, but, even those that maybe we weren't as fond of, they brought us some good memories at least we could look back on, so
And that's what it's
we
all
we're pretty
about.
fortunate.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Let's, uh let's talk a little MLB for just a minute. Uh, Off the top of your head, if any of these put you on the spot, I'm sorry, but, what teams are you most excited to watch this season?
You know, I'm s this is gonna sound like a cop out, but, like, I'm genuinely interested to see if anybody can dethrone LA.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily that I'm, like, a fan of them, like, I enjoy their roster, and there's so much elite talent on there that, like, I'm genuinely interested to see if somebody can beat them in 7. And
I
I don't necessarily know if I have an answer to who, but I'm intrigued by it.
I'm very intrigued, and I talked about this with one of my other buddies before because his bold prediction is what we called it was that the Dodgers missed the playoffs. And then we got talking and he kind of presented a few scenarios where it was really a possibility. And
Yeah?
then that kind of brought us into the point where baseball in general is there's so much parity in the sport
Mhm.
that even a team as dominant as the Dodgers in a 7-game series, they could lose. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you don't expect them. You don't
look in
expect them
23,
to,
they got
but the
swept by
Rockies
the
could beat them.
D-backs.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to make my point is it's really an unprecedented. I mean, we can look back at some of the Yankees squads
Look
and
at
the
2001, man, like,
yeah,
you can't tell I mean, there's so many phenomenal teams, like, and that's I think that's the thing I love about baseball is, like, you could have the best players in the game and not sniff the playoffs. I mean, uh like, one of the guys I used to go and get pitching lessons from when I was in high school, like, spent some time in the Angels organization, and he, like, posts this picture on Facebook. He was on the LA Angels in 2018, team photo, and he's like, "Yeah, looking back, like, I should have really utilized these friendships, like, with some of my teammates," and, like, this team picture, like, here's him sitting in the middle, and, like, behind him is Shohei Ohtani, to the left of him is Mike Trout, and then, like, 2 guys down is Albert Pujols. So you have 3 I mean, honestly, if I was gonna say in the past, probably what, 30 years, like, it'd be pretty tough to find a better trio of guys as far as, like, what they did in their career. I mean, like, Pujols, yeah, in the twilight of his career wasn't like but he was so dominant for so long, and then just, like, what Ohtani is doing right now is insane. But that
yeah,
team never even sniffed the postseason.
That's what's crazy about baseball,
Yeah,
man. That's what's
exactly.
nuts about baseball. And so I'm with you there. And the season's so long, right? So like
Mhm,
it's I don't want to say it's luck, but there's a factor of luck or whatever you want to call it to be able to stay healthy that long.
mhm. Well, to stay healthy and then, like, momentum's huge too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you play the game long enough, like, you get on those stretches where, like, you feel like nobody can get you out, or if you're on the bump, you feel like nobody can hit you,
Nobody could touch it. Yeah.
but then, like, the next day, you could fall into, like, where, "Man, I don't think I could hit a wet paper sack," or, "I don't think I could get out a 3-year-old," like,
Yeah. You ever get on the mound and the ball feels so big in your
yeah,
hand
oh, dude, and it feels
and you're like
heavy and
and you're like, what is wrong?
yeah, and I remember, like, feeling that way a couple of times in my career, and I was like, "Man, baseball is hard." Like, I remember the worst start I ever had in my whole life, like, I was sitting like, after the coach yanked me, I was, like, sitting in the dugout, and I was like, "Man, like, am I good enough to be here?"
Oh
And
yeah.
even as professionals, like, you know that they're going through it too. You know, they go on those stretches like that. When did Joey Gallo play for the Yankees? Was it like 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, 22
Yeah,
ish,
I mean, and the dude's, like, super talented
23.
and, like, he literally I can't think off the top of my head, but, like, his OBP and average, like, was just atrocious. And
Yeah.
so, like, you know, these are professionals, the best guys on the planet, and they still go through it.
Yeah. Did you catch any of the Clubhouse, the Red Sox documentary?
Oh, dude, I love as much as I hate the Red Sox, like, I love that series. Like, and
So
that made me a fan of Jarren Duran, like
that's where I was going with this is like we're talking about professional athletes making millions of dollars
yep.
on top of the world. We see them as the best of the best. You know,
No, they're
they could do no
superhuman
wrong.
almost, right?
And then that you see those documentaries where they get inside the locker room and they kind of go through their day to day life, and you go, you know what, this guy is just like me.
He's a normal
And
person.
you know, when he makes an error, he probably feels it even more because he's got millions of people raining down on him. And you know, I never thought about those guys being having human feelings just like we do, you know?
Yeah, no, honestly, like, that was one of my favorite watches. It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Netflix,
dude, it was honestly a really good watch.
it is a
Uh,
great watch. And I kind of wish they would, well, it was interesting to see him the first series be the Red Sox where they had that kind of a struggle year. So
right.
you could kind of see the ins and outs and how people dealt with that. But I would also be, I mean,
The
you'd have
flip
to get a
side
little
of it.
bit, yeah, you'd have to get a little bit lucky to follow a team that actually wins it. But to see kind of the ups and downs and how
Mhm.
they triumph,
Right.
what they got to do to piece it together. Because like I said, it's a long season, man. Like the Dodgers last year, if you would have said, "Hey, do you think these guys are going to win the World Series in July?" I would have said, "No way, man," because
Not the way
they
they're playing
were,
right now, no.
yeah, they couldn't buy 2 wins, you know, like it was bad. So, um, yeah, baseball's a funny thing like that.
Let's say here's my bold prediction. 'Cause that NL that the I'm gonna say excluding the Dodgers, World Series champion comes out of the NL West.
NL West is arguably the best division in
Dude,
baseball right
it's
between the
crazy.
Diamondbacks and Padres, and yeah,
I mean,
the Giants are
excluding
looking good.
excluding the Rockies, I'm very interested to see the Giants, like, cause for years, like, I've been a huge, Tony Vitello fan at, University of Tennessee, and I wanna
Yeah.
see how college coaching translates straight to the show because they what were they saying? Like he's the first guy to ever get hired as a big league manager straight from the NCAA.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a pioneer that way.
Mhm,
Like we see that happen in college football to the NFL. It's
mhm.
never been done in the MLB. It's usually a former player or someone
Yep.
who's been a bench coach for a while who
They
finally
just
gets
kind of worked their way
promoted.
through the system, you know, like
Yeah,
so.
so to
So like
make
I'm
that
super
jump will be
interested
cool.
to see if the stuff that made him so wildly successful at Tennessee translates to the show.
I hope that we see a little more, I don't want to say college style baseball being played, but something of that nature where it's like these guys are young and can do like I want to see some more steals with
I want
the
to
we
see
got
guys
the new,
manufacture runs, man.
yeah,
Like
let's bunt some guys over, work them over, and
That's
situational
like one
baseball, like,
thing that
this college stuff that we learn
yeah,
about.
and that's why, honestly, like, that's the only reason I have, uh, satellite TV and, like, ESPN Plus is because most Sundays, I don't care if it's, like, the smallest mid-major school, like, there's so much fun baseball to watch at the collegiate level.
I think what a lot of people don't realize too, like, because we're so used to seeing football and
Mhm,
basketball on TV, so it's like, right, the draft is just the top of the top from the D1 level, whatevers, right? Baseball is really not that way. Like, there are more JUCO and NAIA guys in the league right now than there are Division 1 players. So, like, there's a lot of great baseball being played at all levels that,
mhm,
like you said, whether it's televised or not.
yep.
Um, but
There
like, get out
dude,
and watch
there's
baseball.
dogs at every level, man.
There really
It's
is.
so
Yeah.
different from football and basketball where, like, if you wanna go to the NFL, like, you need to be in a Power 4 school. Like, as in baseball, like, you could be at the smallest NAIA or you could be at a Division 3 and, like, you could get a shot because there's so many measurables in baseball that, like, you talk about projectability, and
Mhm.
you don't get that same level of opportunity in the other mainstream sports.
I had a catcher get drafted out of the nowhere, Montana, out of a junior college
Yeah,
that
like,
played in a conference you've never heard of, right? Obviously, you have. We played in the same
the
one.
old Mondac Conference,
The old
right?
the Mondac. I mean, players get drafted out of there all the time.
Yeah,
We had guys on my NAI squad who are he won a World Series. I won't drop his name, um, but he won a World Series as a relief pitcher just in the last handful of years. Like, there's a lot of dudes out there that are not playing for Vanderbilt.
mhm.
Although, if you're gonna watch somebody, Vandy might be the team to watch. They're pretty fun.
Dude, I can't speak enough about how much I love watching the Vanderbilt Commodores. Like, they're such a fun team to watch and so well coached. Like
Really, yeah.
I don't know. I'm a stan for teams that are really well coached, and you can tell that they have extremely strong culture. And I feel like Coach Corbin is like the gold standard when it comes to molding elite young adults.
He really is, and I like watching Vandy too because um, it's an academic school.
Mhm.
Like,
Exactly.
you're not you gotta be. I mean, you gotta be intelligent to even get accepted into the school, let alone be
A
an
phenomenal
athlete.
baseball
So,
player, yeah.
yes.
Like,
So, these guys, like, it's a tight run ship type program. These guys are working hard in the classroom and they're like phenomenal athletes. So you gotta tip your cap to them.
like, they're this is, like, the only reason I use social media. It's, like, crazy to me because all I see is just clips of, like, college baseball and all this crap, and I see so many clips of, like, you watch how they run their practices just with what they're showing you on their social medias, like, it looks like a well-oiled machine. Like,
And that's
it's
not even
so
what you're not.
impressive.
Yeah. That's not even the stuff you don't see where
Right,
they're
right, that's just the
in
stuff that they want you to see. That's not even, like, the full ins and outs of the program.
the early morning workouts and the late nights in the library or whatever that don't get put into those little vids. So interesting stuff. Um, Give me your MVP picks for the year. You can go you can go off track and say it's someone other than Judge and Otani, or you can go with what's probably gonna
Dude
happen and just
dude,
say it's
I
Judge and Otani.
honestly like, I'm gonna be 100% honest for now. I don't think that both of them are gonna win the MVP.
Okay.
Whether that's through injuries or I mean, like, I don't know, dude, baseball writers are weird, like and I think, like, obviously, like, I'm a huge Judgy fan and I love Otani, like, I could watch those dudes go to work all day, but I think the baseball writers are weird, like, so I truly think that one of them will probably win the MVP, but I don't think both of them do.
I think it's
My dark horse pick, and again, this is kind of out there, if he stays healthy and he hits for average, like, I could see Corbin Carroll finishing in the top 3 MVP voting.
I don't hate that pick.
If he
I
stay
think
the biggest key is if he stays healthy and if he hits for average. Like, this
I
he's a
agree.
legit 40-40 threat,
He really is. And I think what people don't realize is the Diamondbacks are gonna be dang good this year.
and that's what I'm
Um,
saying, man, like, they're a sneaky good team. Like, I'm
so if
actually
they
gonna go watch them on opening day in a few weeks, and I am
Oh,
so
sweet.
excited.
Awesome. If they I really think they could win the NL West if the Dodgers have any slacking. I could see them pulling through. And if he's the best player on the best team in the NL West, I
It,
mean, he might get
it's
it. So
it's possible, and in the AL, who do you think derails Judge?
I don't know if there is a clear cut like second
Because I mean,
person.
honestly, last year was probably as good as a shot as you were gonna have. Like, because with what Cal Raleigh did was like unreal.
If you can't win it with 60 homers, I don't know who can.
And the thing that really sucks for him is any other year, he's probably unanimous MVP. But, like, to
Yeah,
me, like, it just goes to show, like, how good was Aaron Judge in the regular season? Yeah, he didn't hit as many
he's
home
so
runs, but,
good.
like, how freaking good was he in the regular season?
He's so good. And like everybody knows it. So they're pitching around him. They're not giving him pitches to hit. They're forcing him to chase, things like that, and he still
He's still
finds a
producing,
way.
and that's, like, and a part of it is, like, I would have really liked to have seen what could you imagine the stat line if Soto would have stayed in New York? Because like, dude, that 2-3 or 3-4 punch with those 2 protecting each other in the lineup, like, take your pick. You're gonna throw to Aaron Judge or you're gonna throw to Juan Soto. Like,
I
that
understand that, it's about money, and that's really what most things come down
oh,
to,
yeah,
but
for sure.
I I cannot believe they didn't make a more of a push to make that a long-term
Well,
deal,
the
even
thing
if it
is, like,
wasn't.
Soto's young too.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
like, even
but
if it
I
wasn't the
totally get the
15 year.
business aspect of it. Like, I was
Yeah,
like, like, a prime example of this is if a school district walked it through my door right now, like, in my teaching career and said, "Hey, we're gonna pay you triple your salary, and you're gonna have" I look at it this like, this is what when we talk about college athletics, but, like, if a school district came in and said, "Hey, we're gonna give you triple your salary, and you get to work with you can take your favorite students with you, and we're gonna give you all this stuff," like, most people would be, like, "Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that."
yeah, sure.
And,
Yeah,
us common folk, when they're like, "Well, what's another $100,000,000?" I'm like, "I don't know, because I'm never gonna touch $100,000,000, but I would say if someone offered me and 100,000,000 smaller, because what was his deal? Like 700,000,000 or like, it was some
yeah,
absurd number.
760.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
7.
it would be pretty dang hard because you're talking generational, financial stability for your lineage forever.
Yeah. No, you can't fault him for going that
No.
way. I
The fan in me was
100%.
really disappointed because, like, I loved seeing him in pinstripes, but, like, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Um, who's a young player you could see having, like, a breakout year this year, maybe doesn't have a name for himself quite yet?
Ooh, you know, and I wouldn't necessarily this is like an under the radar player, but I think Jack Caglione has a really good
Yeah.
year. Like, I mean, the tools are there, but again, it just goes to show how hard it is to come up as a young guy and be successful. I mean, and he's had a pretty good WBC for Team Italy. Like, talk about a Cinderella story. But like, I really think Jack Caglione will have a good year now that he's kind of got a taste of the show and kind of sees what that's all about.
Yeah, if you ever have players wonder if they should be in the weight room, just show them a picture of that guy.
Oh my gosh,
Holy
I know.
cow, man. Holy cow.
How crazy is it,
Let's see.
like, with the view of like, weight training and baseball shifting?
Man, I mean, it was shifting us a little bit when we were playing, right? Like, people like, we wanted to train, but you remember
Well,
how many coaches and whoever
don't touch
told,
upper body at all. You
"Don't
don't need
bench
to
press."
exactly.
Yeah. Don't bench press if you're pitching because, you could hurt your shoulder, or you could throw a lot harder, but they don't tell
Yeah,
you
I
that
mean,
part, so
you see pictures of Aroldis Chapman freaking throwing around 130-pound, dumbbells, and I'd say that it works out alright for him with the velo.
yeah. So things are always changing, and maybe we caught the tail end of that. I think maybe
Right,
we
right.
missed out on some possible athleticism there, but, um, yeah, you see the training style difference in the league now is quite different. Just even the body style of players that are coming up, right? Like you mentioned, Jack or Jock or however he pronounces his name.
Well, yeah,
Um,
you don't see like, you don't see these guys that are skinny bean poles or pudgy anymore. I mean, probably and I would even say, like, this is no disrespect to Alejandro Kirk, but, like, you don't see guys built like Alejandro Kirk in the league. Like, he's a one of, right? Like, everybody, like, you look at him and you're like, even the small guys, you're like, "Yeah, he is a physical specimen," right? Like, your
Yep.
pitchers, like, gone are the days of seeing guys that are built like Chris Sale and Randy Johnson. Like, these dudes are ripped.
Yeah. And the one-offs, like you said, that you do see come around is it's just sheer ability that keeps
Mhm.
them around, right?
Right, and
Like
I'm
you
sure, like, I'm gonna be full transparency. I'm sure that, like, us commoners, I'm sure Alejandro Kirk is a pretty damn good athlete, even
Oh,
though he
yeah.
doesn't have the Greek physique of an Aaron Judge, you know, like,
Sure.
you don't have success in the show if you're not a really good athlete.
Absolutely. Okay, a couple questions, and I'll let you go. Um, we can do a little rapid fire here, so just give me your
Oh,
best answer.
okay.
Favorite player growing up?
Oh, dude, you already know this answer to this one.
That
Jeets,
was
man. Derek
Derek
Jeter.
Jeter. Favorite baseball movie?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to reach back. I've got 2,
I'll
and
allow it.
you're probably similar. I love Bull Durham,
Yep.
all time, like one of my all time favorites. But The Natural is probably my all time favorite baseball movie.
Really? Okay. I thought you were
Love
gonna
me
go
Robert
Major League.
Redford.
That's a good one. I would go Major League. Bull Durham probably is my
Those
top
are
2.
2 of my favorite. Like some great one liners. Uh, like
Most quotable movies ever, man. Those are
Oh,
great.
I we have a little kid on our team that, like, loves the Dodgers, and, like, he actually chose 34, not because of David Ortiz, but because of Fernando Valenzuela, and anytime
Cool.
he struggles, I'm like, "Ah, man, like, he's not breathing through his eyelids."
Yeah. And he never I'm sure they don't understand what that means.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, preferred glove brand. Are you a Rawlings guy, Wilson guy, other?
Dude, I'm a Rawlings guy, like, all my gamers were pro preferreds, and I I'm a Rawlings stan. Like, when my son said, "Hey, dad, I wanna get a Rawlings glove," like, I was secretly, like, really giddy inside because I love Rawlings. Wilson makes
Pro
a good
preferred.
glove, but, like,
Yeah.
dude, I feel like Rawlings is the gold standard.
My infield gloves were always Wilson, but the pro preferred is tough to beat.
Well,
It
say,
is
dude,
tough.
this is gonna be a really weird thing, but when we were playing together, you had A2K, right?
I played with an A2K
Mhm.
almost my whole career. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I have a
Yep.
weird photographic memory like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a A2K iWeb guy from high school to college, and but I do pro preferred is some of the best leather I've
No,
worked
dude,
on. So
I love what Rawlings is doing with their leather right now.
you're at the ballpark. What you got to get one food. What are you getting?
One food?
Yeah. What's the ballpark
What's the
food of
go-to?
choice?
Oh, man. Dude, I went to Petco Park this summer, and they had some of the best, like, food selection I've ever witnessed. I can't even remember what I got, but, like, I had some Mexican food out of there, which I would have never imagined as ballpark food, but
Uh huh.
I don't think you can go to the ballpark and not get ice cream in a helmet.
I was gonna say it doesn't matter if you put it in a helmet. It's ballpark food.
Exactly. I don't care where you're at, like, if you go to a ballpark, like, you've gotta get some sort of food in a souvenir helmet.
Absolutely, agree, 100%. Uh, we'll do this. Will be a two-parter. Okay, so if you could face one pitcher in history, who would it be? And then I want you to do the reverse since you were primarily a pitcher. Let's say who would you want to throw to?
Alright, so, are we talking, like, to maybe have success or just to see, like, how far they could hit off of me?
Either or both.
Dude, I would love to get to throw to Barry Bonds. Like, what was it? Was it 2002 or 2003 when he hit 73? Like, I would like to throw to single season home run record Barry Bonds. I would
Yeah, that
like to try to hit off of Paul Skeens, but nobody could film it because I have a really good feeling that, I would look like the worst hitter on the planet.
Oh man, he's just on another level. I posted a video a while back saying it was a picture of, or it was a video of a Skeens two seamer and a Scooble two seamer,
Dude, Scoobs is
and
disgusting, and I would say I would wanna hit off a Scoobs, but, like, I was a lefty, and, like, that lefty on lefty, like, I would be bailing out of the box so fast with Scoobs
oh yeah,
pitching.
yeah. The question I asked on the video was, which would you rather hit or which one was tougher? But it's a trick question because even good baseball player, like the best of the
Mm,
best, are hitting 100 off
yeah.
these guys. So
You're
it's
you're
a trick
talking
question because
good
nobody
good
can.
MLB hitters, right? Like,
Yeah,
dudes that are hitting for average in the league.
man. Okay. Um, let's see. Couple last ones. What are you most excited for about this season, MLB wise, and then also you can throw in a little bit about Miller baseball.
Okay.
Maybe something you'd like to see by the end here.
Dude, honestly, with the MLB, like, I just love summer. Like, I'm excited to be able to watch ball. Like, I'm a teacher, so I have summers off. Like, I'm just excited to sit down and watch baseball. Like, uh, I don't really care who it is. Like, I just am excited to watch. I would love to see an underdog team make a run at it.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
with our local team, like right now, I've got a group of guys that, like I said, they're really green, but I'm excited about the guys that I have because they're extremely hard workers. And I am hoping for their sake that, we get 1% better every single day and then make some noise in the state tournament in our classification.
That'd be awesome. And sometimes green isn't always bad, right? Like we talked about at the beginning where not having an approach or whatever, but sometimes, ignorance is bliss there and you can go in with a clear mind and just get it done and not
Oh yeah.
overthink things. So, maybe you guys will surprise yourselves.
And it's been done before. My 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 first year we went like 2-18 in the regular season, and then we finished in the top 5, knocked off like the number 3 team in the state by like 10 runs. And uh that's the thing about our communities. Like we really do. We have great kids that work extremely hard and are extremely coachable. So I'm really excited to see how they learn and progress as athletes.
Yeah, it's real good to hear. And for anyone who's listening or watching and might be interested in following or checking out Miller Baseball, what's the best way to do that? Is that Game Changer or
Yeah, we have Game Changer. Uh Occasionally we get a nice stream on Centricom, but we have an Instagram page. I'm not super well versed in social media, so I'm not like posting every day on there, but when we do something cool, we usually post about it.
awesome? If anyone is interested in donating to the program or anything like that, what would be the best way to contact you?
Honestly, if you want to just reach out to me on, like, I have a personal Facebook, personal Instagram, or just like contacting our high school. Like, if
Okay,
anybody wanted to support, like, we're a small budget team, so like anytime we get anything remotely nice, our kids really appreciate it. And uh
awesome. I can if anyone is interested in doing that, you can just contact me and then I can funnel you maybe some more information to get in contact with Dakota here.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Yeah, I think that's all I've got. You got anything you need to get off your chest or anything you'd like to talk about before we wrap it up?
I just want to say that, like, I can't hop off here because, like, Bronx was like, "Dad, can I hop on the podcast with you?" I was like, "I don't know. I gotta give Bronx a shout out. He, I'll let him watch this, and he'll probably be mad at me for not bringing him on, but he
We should
doesn't
have
need
had a
any
little
bigger of a
Bronx
head.
segment. Yeah.
We've talked about, like, miking up at a game because some of the stuff that we hear them say is pretty funny. Like, he's just but I gotta give him a shout out. He wanted to hop on. Maybe someday we can do a nice little baseball through the lens of a 9U player.
Well, I'll let you finish your season and then let's link back up once the season's over and we'll do another show and we can have a segment for Bronx too. That'd be
To
cool.
say, dude, we're playing kind of up your way with our one of our club teams this summer. We're gonna go up and play in Ogden. I guess it's not like super close up there, but close-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll let me
we'll
know
have
when
to
that
bring
is.
him
Well,
to the workshop and let him see what glove heaven looks like.
yeah, let him come check out some gloves. See if we can throw in some different colored laces for him or something. So,
Perfect.
all right, man. Well, I really appreciate you hopping on with me. It's always nice to have a chat and catch up. It's been a minute. Love to have you back though when your season cools down a
Oh,
little bit.
anytime, man. We'll have to do and give a recap of how the year went, and we'll see how much
Yeah,
more hair I've lost off the top of my head.
we should do. We'll clip all the pictures here and
Yeah,
we'll see how it
we'll
goes
go
over
like
next year.
preseason and postseason.
Little did we know that's why Coach Bullock was that way, huh? We didn't realize
Oh,
that was the
dude,
reason.
nah, I'm not. I'm gonna do him dirty right here. I've never seen my dad with a full head of hair. He was like 25 and going bald.
Oh man. All
Oh,
right, man. Well, I'll let you go, but I appreciate you coming on, and yeah, it was a good time. Good catching up with you, and we'll have you
always
back
is,
soon.
man. Well, appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man. I think that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and shoot me any questions you have. We'll see you next time.